What up, everybody? Thank you for joining me on this fabulous Sunday. I had a little bit of a thing going on, family situation here, so I was a little bit late, but thanks for coming in. I appreciate you being here. So without further ado, because I know I'm running behind, let me jump into the chat and see what's going on there, because I know you guys are lighting that bad boy up. And I do have some people that are going to be joining me in the next couple minutes, and I'm just waiting for them to load in as well. So we've got a little bit of time to kill. So yeah, let me jump in here. Kanch is up in here. She says, love from India. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thoughts on Constantine 2? I'm sure it'll happen. Hopefully, he'll look a little bit, I don't know, not as old as he looked in Bill and Ted 3. Still like Keanu, but hopefully he doesn't look that old. Geeks Cosmic, what's up, man? How you doing? Jacob says, "Ayo." Got you can call me Jokers up in here. Hey guys. I DM'd you. Yeah. I saw that. Thank you so much. I'm gonna grab it. Like I said, I just got back to the house, so I had so much that I was gonna prep, and all that just went to crap. So I was like, I have no time to do anything. So I'm just going to kind of play things by ear, and we have a lot of things to discuss. So we might not have the visuals that I planned on, but we'll definitely have some extra material. So Noel says, hey guys. Dan, do you think Zack Snyder's Justice League could lead to a Green Lantern project in the Snyderverse? That's what it was supposed to do. That's what we had for the Green Lantern Corps movie. It was supposed to lead up to that, sort of take it galactic and sort of give you a little bit different perspective of the threat that Darkseid is to the universe, to the galaxy, to the multiverse. So yeah, it was supposed to, and I think that's what they were going to do with the HBO series, with the HBO Max series, because that was the first thing that HBO Max said that they wanted to do, and then that got kind of sidelined, and then Zach kind of got the reins back, and that's been sidelined again. They kind of promoted it a little bit back on DC Fandom Part 2, but they really didn't do anything. They showed one image, and that was kind of it. And so in one ear, not the other for me, until they show something substantial. Let's see. Green Lantern Project is huge. Yes, it is a huge franchise. I love the property. As you can see, my rings are behind me. I'm really into to that sort of genre for DC. It can be 5 to 6 different projects. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. Green Lantern Corps, Kyle Rayner, Godhead War, Blackest Night. I mean, yeah, they could definitely do that. Let's see. Khalil, no. Is on and still no DC news. Well, I didn't expect too much from Comic-Con, and everybody that had their hopes up, well, I feel sad for you, because I sure didn't. I didn't. I thought that, hey, whatever. It's not going to be a big deal. Comic-Con San Diego wasn't a big deal. That got overshadowed by JusticeCon. They had nothing. They had, a New Mutants trailer? Psh, see you later. New Mutants wasn't even that good. I watched it the other day. I was like, oh, this was it? A bear? Okay. Next. Let's see. Sam Benjamin is my Green Lantern. El Capi is in the house. What's up? He's so hyped, man. Saying thank you so much. I'm hyped too. I'm just running off of the adrenaline of trying to get back to the house. There were a lot of cops out there that I had to avoid. Emerald Twilight on itself is the main direction that Zach chose, in my opinion. I mean, if you have any sort of narrative on that, where he was, discussing that, hey, man, fill me in. Let me know. Point me to where he was saying that. That's awesome. Hal already is already Parallax during the Nightmare. I mean, that's possible. It's possible. I wonder where Zeeverfett is. Right here, guys. So, McLovin, what's up, man? Yes, I'm late. Definitely so. But I mean, hey, that's the way it is in the stream game. You schedule something and real life comes up. Had to take my daughter to the emergency care and all that, and it's not fun. So anyway, Fat Dan, who would win a fight, Superman or a hippo? Well, the hippopotamus is the most dangerous creature alive on the planet currently, I believe. Isn't that correct? dangerous to men. So if he's a Superman, I think he's got something to worry about. Let's see. What's up, man? Anthony Strader, what's up? How you doing, man? Nice Mando pick. Hi, Joker. Yeah. Let's see. What that's true. Lanterns are universal. Supergirl as a Green Lantern, she'd be unstoppable. Yeah, and just to kind of not to toot my own horn, but I did do a Red Lantern Kara El T-shirt. If anybody is interested in that character and likes that design, because I think it's a pretty cool design. Whenever they incorporate the Superman S into lantern, or even the Batman S or the Batman shield into a lantern, I think that's awesome. So really cool stuff. Gillis, what's up, man? I am happy that you're here. Let's see. What's up, everybody? Dylan's in the house. Sickness is up in here. Let's see. Everything is good. I can't wait for 84. Yeah, you know what? I've got my tickets for Wonder Woman 84. I'm going to the theater to go watch it. Yes, among the pandemic or whatever, we're definitely going to do this. We'll watch it with our shields or our mask or whatever we need. We're going to go in there and do that, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Dr. Fate says, see, Darkseid is a big threat. I don't know if Superman could take him. I don't know. I mean, I think he started out to be as a Superman villain. So, I mean, I would think that most villains can be overcome by the, protagonist. It just depends on, what sort of situation. Because, I mean, Superman, Kal-El is very smart, so he doesn't really rely on his strength. He has strength, but he doesn't really, that's not his thing. He doesn't solely rely on his strength to, he doesn't pound everything and solve problems that way. He solves problems intellectually and uses his strengths to the best of his abilities to achieve whatever goal he's trying to achieve. So let's see. Yeah, Dune does look good. What's up? Why not stuff? How you doing, man? Very talented artist up in the house. Thank God, something good after 3 hours of the the Boarfest. Wow, it was a Boarfest. See, I knew it on that other stream with Dawson. We had a panelist that jumped in and said, hey, they're really excited and they really, they're looking forward to the announcement of Batfleck series. I know that's not coming. I mean, I want to see it. I mean, this is Batfleck right here. That's Batfleck right there. I mean, I'm all down to see more Batfleck. He's a producer on the Batman, with Matt Reeves and Pattinson, and they're not going to overshadow because he's a bigger star than Pattinson. He would totally overshadow, even if it's even if it's just a series on HBO Max, it would thwart what Matt Reeves is doing, because everybody, or not everybody, but I mean the majority of people say, hey, Ben Affleck, I'm definitely wanting to see him further, in that character. Evening. Gisam says, what do you think about HBO Max day by day releases? I mean, that's awesome. If you're talking about like they're doing with Wonder Woman 84, releasing it on streaming and then also releasing it in the theater and having the streaming like a 30-day run, and in the theater however long it lasts at the theater, and then they still come out with physical media, because that's what I really want, is physical media. Then yeah, I'm cool with that. I love it. Let me see here. I have a couple more to get to, and then I will welcome one of my first guests here. Let's see. Anthony says, I was hoping we were going to get a Spider-Man 3 teaser yesterday. Man, I think they're keeping that close to the chest, because it's a, I mean, they have so much over there, like the WandaVision thing. Nobody cares about that anymore. The Winter Soldier and Falcon series, nobody cares about that anymore. It's all been shelved. The next thing that people care about is this Black Widow thing, and they don't really care about that. So it's like, they have to really sort of get those properties back into the good graces of the viewers to actually be able to say, or want to say, let's do this. Let's show some Spider-Man teaser, because again, it's kind of the same thing. Spider-Man would overshadow all of that. He would just overshadow all of that. There's nobody cares about the other stuff. So let's see. New Mutants was 5 years, 5 year on the works. As a result, turd sandwich. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it passed through many different hands, and that's what happens, man. I wish you well, Ryan. Oh yeah, hey, dude. Thank you so much. Everything's okay. Yeah. So the thing about that is, and thank you, Sil. I appreciate that, man. And we are good. We had to go get another stupid COVID test. And because my daughter, she is in athletics, and she's a trainer, so she assists, like if people get injured or whatever on the court or on the field, and she's the one that goes and wraps their leg or wraps their ankle or whatever it is, ices them down, whatever. And so she's in close proximity to the players. So we had to go in last month. And it came back, of course, negative. And we just did it today. Came back negative because on Friday, one of the people on the team turned out that they were positive. So we had to go sit in one of those stupid urgent cares and get tested. And I was like, oh gosh, of all days, I tried to schedule something and it just kind of blows up in your face. Never schedule anything. And try to stick to your guns. Always be, always leave yourself a little bit of wiggle room. That is the lesson of the day, and you're welcome. Let's see. Sil says geeks. Dr. Fate. Let's see. McLovin. All right, I think we're caught up. Do you think that we will see? Oh, hold on. I'll save this question, Reese. But I want to introduce my special guest of the day, Super Hive. Annie is in here with me. Hold on one second. Or Allie, sorry. Allie is here with me, and boom, here she is. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Hope everything's well. You said you guys are doing okay, but just want to send my wishes.
Oh, thank you so much. No, we just needed to get tested again so that she could return to school and all that, and so the football season, she said, is done. So they don't have to worry about those, but she just did a game yesterday for basketball. And that season's not over yet. And but I think, but she's not getting into baseball. She doesn't do it for baseball, so I think that's a spring sport that she doesn't really have to worry about. But yeah, it's just a lot of. I mean, the last time this happened, there was like a big party, and all the kids went to the party, and a lot of them got tested positive after that particular party. She wasn't there, of course, but the players were, and they were exposed to whatever, and then they brought it back to the school, and so we all got, emails saying, hey, test your kid and all that. So, yeah, it was just, this pandemic thing is just such a pain in the ass. It is such a pain in the ass. So, but how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for asking. I hope besides that you've been okay, but I know, oh, hey guys, I'm looking at the chat. Sorry. But yeah, it's been okay. Sorry about like the scheduling. My Sundays are a little bit like I'm not as available to do stuff until like the afternoon on Sundays. Yeah. So I hope it wasn't like, an inconvenience. And I know with the time zones, it's hard to like coordinate everyone.
Oh, just for me, I was like, yeah, you're in Mountain Time. Okay, Eastern Standard. And that's what I was thinking. No, because I'm always scheduling for Eastern, and I was like, dang it. So anyway, Reese had a question. Let me get back to him. Gillis says, yeah, I sure speak for everyone. I hope it's a negative. It was, and we are good because I do have a young one in the house as well, right. And so I need to make sure that if that is a situation, we need to squash that. So Reese had a question though. Let me jump back to that one so I don't forget it. Do you think that we will see Darkseid in the Omega Sanction or use the Omega Sanction at some point in Zack Snyder's Justice League 1, 2, or 3, if he makes them? Since you're my guest, I'm going to let you answer that. I have no idea.
I don't know. Okay. Okay. Can you explain that to me?
The Omega Sanction?
Yes.
You'd have to actually get that from someone who has actually read that or is more informed on what that is. That's why I kind of put the spot.
I don't know enough about that.
I don't either.
Sorry.
Like I know a little bit of the anti-life equation that he is looking to solve or complete so that he can gain immortality and things like that. So that's more something that is a little bit more mainstream than an Omega Sanction. So let me see if Reese has said anything after, which he has not. Nick at Night Show. The Nick at Night Show says he is the Omega Sanction. So what's up, Nicotina? How you doing? Good to see you here. But yeah, so I think everything else is just what's up. How's everybody going? Or how's everybody doing? Yes, it's Easterin. So yeah, I want to get into a little bit of the discussion here, but before we do that, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into into this movement, how you became a Zack Snyder fan, and what is your most, I guess, what is your favorite of the DC Universe movies of all time?
Okay, yeah. So I got involved with this stuff pretty much. Well, I fell in love with Man of Steel. I was, of course, familiar with Zack Snyder's work before that, 300 and, Dawn of the Dead and stuff like that. But I wasn't part of like a fandom, I guess you could say.
Mm.
And then Man of Steel came out and it was just like all downhill from there.
Yeah.
And loved BVS, of course. Man of Steel is probably still my number one favorite.
Okay.
I think Zack Snyder's Justice League will tie for first for that once it comes out.
Yeah.
But right now, still Man of Steel is still my number one favorite. And then BVS the Ultimate Edition would be after that. But ever since then, I've just gotten more and more interested in Zack Snyder's work as a director. And I started my channel like the summer before Justice League came out.
Mm-hmm. So
that's when I started getting the inkling to like, I want to do this. Like, I want to start a little channel. There's a bunch of people on you. Like, there's a little community, people who talk about this stuff. And, once BVS became like, once it was, it was unexpected to me how controversial it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just causing all of this, discussion and conversation. So that's when I started my channel that summer. And of course, the hype was like super high at that time for Justice League.
Yeah.
And so I was super excited about it. And then, of course, once the movie came out and more information was coming out about what was changed or cut from the movie, besides what we saw in trailers, but like stuff that was being leaked or whatever. I was already on Twitter at the time. So I started, of course, I was seeing all of the fandom rallying around and doing the, of course, hashtag release the Snyder Cut thing. And so ever since then, I've been involved and keeping up with everything. But there was a time where my channel, I kind of stopped making videos on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And I guess like I would make videos, talking about stuff that was leaked or changed. Changed or cut. But it seemed like some of my people that would watch my videos before were losing interest because they were upset and they weren't not losing interest in me like personally, but like DC, because there was people who were like, I'm not going to watch Aquaman, or some people are like, I don't want to watch any other DC movies, I'm not going to support them because of what happened with Justice League. So my motivation, and also a lot of stuff was changing in our family, like moving and starting new jobs and like all this new stuff, was just a lot of busy things going on. Yeah. And I wasn't as involved in my channel, but I was still keeping up with everything that was going on in the movement and hoping that we would someday like get a announcement for the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
Then once that happened, I was like, I'm going back to my channel like on a regular basis because I'm not missing out on these like all these discussions and stuff that are going to be going on. So that's kind of how my like experience has been. But overall, it's been awesome to like see it, how it started. Well, not to have that, not to use this trend that's going on, how it started and how it's going, but it's kind of fitting. It's just cool to see how it's happened over these past few years, and it's been really cool.
Okay. Well, welcome to the channel. It's your first time on here. I'm going to drop in another regular on the channel in just a Well, right now. Boom.
Oh shit.
What's up? So
Yeah.
this is my son, and yeah, he's safe from my house of COVID.
Yes.
Yeah, shut up.
No, I don't know.
Man, I like the positioning of your camera now. It looks good. Looks like
It's always been this way. What do you mean? I've always had it this way. And I'm representing Nicotina right now. I got my Nicotina shirt. Courtesy of Zeeverfett.
Star Sapphire.
Yeah.
That's
what he's always wanted to be.
I have to do it every stream.
Anthony's laughing his ass off over there.
Do I have it? Oh, I do have it.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah.
There he is. In all of his glory. So let me bring in another regular Shablam.
You see how much he pays attention to your stuff? He didn't even know your camera angle.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything, man.
What's up, everybody?
Oh man, how y'all doing today?
Doing all right, man.
All right,
great,
man. You guys, everybody's wearing a fantastic shirt today.
See?
That looks boss, man. That looks dope.
I know.
Where'd you get that shirt? I don't even know you can get a shirt like that.
I think I got it from Teespring. Zeeverfett.
Nice. By the way, it is the holiday season and everybody is out shopping or whatever. Well, you can also shop from home if you like and pick up one of these shirts. So
nice segue.
Yeah. Just go to my local Teespring or T Public store. Where I have most of these outfits, or not outfits, I have outfits. Where I have most of these shirts available.
These suits.
So, yeah. So the topic of this discussion here is this guy right here. Boom. This is who we got to see. And he's
a redhead.
This is really cat. So, yeah. So, what do you guys think of the rumors that Green Lantern is or is not in the movie? Like, this is the one we got from Justice League, right here. Right. So, this was an original character from the comic books that they brought over, and then so they sort of put that in the history lesson. Do you guys still think that is still going to be a thing in the new one? Or do you think that, no Lantern is going to be represented 20,000 years ago when all that happened? Let's see, Super Hive, Allie. Let me hear from you. What do you say on that?
Okay, well, I do think there's going to be a Lantern, but Zach had said when someone asked him about that, I think they sent him a screenshot or something of that clip. I don't remember what the question was.
Yeah.
Zach said, "Not my Lantern." Mm-hmm. So I think there will be a Green Lantern there because of the dialogue that was cut from one of the first trailers when he says, "No lanterns, no Kryptonians, no protectors." Yeah. I think that's referring to who was involved at the history lesson battle. Mm-hmm. So I think there will be a Lantern, but I don't think it's going to be that one since Zach said that wasn't his. Which I don't know. They changed things for no reason. So I don't see why they would switch one Lantern out for another. But they did that with pretty much everything that they changed. So
yeah. So all of that got changed around. The first thing we had for Green Lantern was Ryan Reynolds' 2011 movie, which I own. Watched the extended version of it. It's not a great film. There are some cool things in it. There are some horrible things in it, like Tamora Morrison. Fantastic. And that's actually one of the only good things about it. But no, I'm joking. What are your thoughts on the Green Lantern, Anthony?
Yeah, same as Allie, pretty much. He did say "not my Lantern," so there you go. But I do think there will be one in that. I'd kind of be disappointed if in that entire history lesson there's not a Green Lantern. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah, I feel that same thing, man. There's going to be one there. I guess it's not going to be what's his name? The one that you just showed?
That guy, I have no idea. He's just an original Lantern. They pulled out of lore. There was a drawing back in the day when I was doing a little expose on it. But I think it was like from the 90s or the 80s or something like that. Just like really old. It's not a new incarnation of a lantern. It was just it was an original lantern. It wasn't like Alan Scott or anything like that. But what are your thoughts, Matt? What do you think about the Green Lantern in the history lesson?
I mean, same thing. But I mean, maybe he said no because it's not cool enough. It doesn't look cool enough, or he's gonna actually get like a name character that he really wanted or something. I don't know. One of those two options.
Okay.
But yeah, there'll definitely be a lantern in that history lesson.
Now, I guess we can move into the next little subject, which would be, so we have had another sort of history lesson back in 2011 of a different Green Lantern that we now know is not in this film. And how we know that it's not in this film, for those people who watch Grace Randolph, is that she started off saying that Ryan Reynolds was going to be in the film as Green Lantern. Then she said maybe, and then she says, not that Ryan Reynolds is, she said he's too busy, but she says now there's no Green Lantern in the film at all. So what are your thoughts on that sort of paradigm shift? And I guess I'll start with Allie again.
Okay. Well, when the Ryan Reynolds rumor first dropped, I was like, whoa, like how? But I don't know. It's been a lot of up and down and back and forth about Ryan Reynolds, but since I'm kind of saying like I don't think so now. Like before I was like it's maybe a possibility, but
for when Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah. When it first dropped, I was like, okay, I guess that's possible they could add him in there. But since additional photography is done and the Deadpool 3 was confirmed and all of that, like since additional photography is only going to be 4 to 5 minutes total of extra footage,
yeah,
I don't think that would include him.
Are you going to include this guy?
I mean,
so harsh.
I don't necessarily think it's like a 4 to 5 minute scene by itself. I think it's 4 to 5 minutes of like not just one scene, if that makes sense, like a minute here, 2 minutes there.
Like a culmination of different, different. So even an older person who was cast or thought of to be cast as Green Lantern, you don't think this guy's going to be in there either?
Bro,
he's waiting to hear the answer. So, I don't think that we're going to see Jack Black.
No. Please, no.
Let's lower the game. Sorry. Let me lower the game. Okay, is that better?
Put something else down there.
No.
I don't know what the problem is with your mic. It's bothering me.
Sorry. Am I too far away from it? Is this better?
It sounds very echoey. I don't know.
Echoey? Well, it is a big room. So
it wasn't like that before. I don't know what you did.
So Ryan Reynolds, the only way that I could ever see Ryan Reynolds himself being in the films now is, number one, if he were in the Flash movie, because you have Michael Keaton. There's talk about other actors or whatever, but the only one I'm focusing on is Michael Keaton because he's the only one that is really like in actuality. All these other actors and like Linda Carter and all these other names that they're just kind of like throwing into the mix. Grant Gustin, would be another real name, possibly in the Flash movie. But because he'd be a part of the multiverse or whatever, I can see that he would be a part of that maybe. Like, sort of like the Flash is running through, kind of like on the TV show, but not the same because there's a bigger budget. Is that, he's running through the Speed Force through the, like a time tunnel or whatever, and you sort of kind of see him doing other things or whatever. And you're like, oh, hey, look, that's Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern. He's not.
I wouldn't even want to see him. Like, I mean, he's already like shot himself reading the script at Deadpool. Like, I don't want to see him. If he came back, it'd just be like Harrison.
Sure. The only other way I could see him is if he actually was going to be in the Black Adam movie or a sequel as Alan Scott. Yeah. He'd still be Green Lantern, but not Hal Jordan. And that, he still owns the intellectual property, the intellectual rights. He can still be a Green Lantern. He just can't be Hal Jordan. So I was like, that could work too because, The Rock loves working with him and has tried to get him or work him into his films. So that's the only other thing that I can think logically where he would fit. Just kind of shoehorning him in to like Captain Marvel into this, kind of, continuity. I don't see Zach kind of doing that. I don't like him shoehorning Jared Leto is a better fit than him shoehorning Hal Jordan or Ryan Reynolds. So I think it makes more sense. It's his own take on that character. And it's a character that was already established in that Snyderverse used with David Ayer. So it all kind of melds and makes sense anyway. What are your thoughts on that, Anthony?
On Ryan Reynolds? He's not in there. There's like we've talked about it before. Like it'd be so weird for him to do that. Like to put him in, just because Zach likes to work with those unknown people to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like where you're talking about. I mean, Green Lantern is a huge character, but like Batman or Superman, unknown really. Henry Cavill, like you had hardly never heard of him. The Batman, Wonder Woman, Gal, who had heard of that? You know what I mean? Besides people who watch Fast and the Furious movies. So. The only big name person he's cast in that entire thing is basically Ben Affleck. So I would think he'd go with an unknown. I'm sure we'll see him at some point. I don't know. It's can we get 2021 here already so we all can tell?
Yeah. Because I tell you that the Green Lantern for me is like the best kept secret of the whole movie. It would have been Jared Leto had nobody like leaked that information, but. It still continues to be, Green Lantern. So, and you have that hoodie that Zack Snyder put together or whatever, where it has all the symbols. It has Martian Manhunter on there, and it's 8 symbols, right? And it also has the Green Lantern emblem on there. Yeah. So the Green Lantern is a part of it. And he had to get approval rights. Because it's something that he sold. He doesn't own that particular emblem so that he could just sell whatever it's copyrighted material. So there is a Green Lantern in his film, and he also said he responded to Hussein was it Hussein that asked him about Green Lantern? Or somebody at Star Labs, or is he somewhere else? And Zach said
another location.
Yeah, another location.
Share this, Ryan. Here. So I clicked on Twitter and it was just on the screen. I don't know if that's weird, but like it's legitimately was
on the stream. No, it all works out. It's a puzzle. We're putting it together.
This is Clark Tucker. He's like,
there you go.
Yeah, there it is. There you
Quick
go.
question: was Hal Jordan going to be seen in Star Labs or someplace else? So he's put someplace else with a location.
Yeah, at another location. That doesn't mean, or that to me means that Hal Jordan is going to be seen.
Yes.
And that means that he could have easily said, just like Dick Grayson, I killed him, he's dead. In my continuity, he doesn't exist. I'm fine with with using Jon Stewart or using Kyle Rayner or whatever. That's cool. But Zack Snyder could have dismissed this dude completely, or set him straight like he does, and said, Hal's not in my story, or Hal's not in the timeline, or Hal's, So I'm thinking that what we're going to see is Green Lantern in the nightmare sequences. He's not fighting Steppenwolf. He's fighting the rest of the Justice League, or with the rest of the Justice League, against the parademons and Darkseid and all that in the nightmare sequences, and so he's sort of in the dystopian part of the story. So you do see Green Lantern, but you don't see him in like the regular story. He's not there trying to revive Clark. He's not there, again, fighting Steppenwolf. He's not, he's not doing anything. He's not really interacting with him either. He could just be kind of ancillary in the background. And we do have somebody who fits that, and with the personage of Sam Benjamin. And he's been brought up a lot. And they're like, oh no, this guy is he's a military guy. That's it. He had a different name on his shirt or whatever, and whatever. And he could be coming in and like wearing somebody else's clothes. Just to kind of fit in, trying to, be like covert about things or whatever, and he just maybe lands on a military base, puts on somebody else's jacket, which has their name badge on it or whatever, or their name tag rather, and starts detecting. What are your thoughts on Sam Benjamin? Because he has a 25 to 30-minute story arc that was completely taken out by Jeff Johns and Joss Whedon. But I mentioned Jeff Johns because Jeff Johns, that's his baby right there, right? Yeah. So for me, I would think that he would want to preserve, Green Lantern because he was a part of the 2011 POS that came out with Ryan Reynolds. What are your thoughts on that, Allie?
I think it's highly possible that he is a Green Lantern character. Like you said, when the question about Hal Jordan, he didn't say a different Green Lantern name, so he didn't change. He didn't say that it was, supposed to be a different Green Lantern. Yeah. So I think that kind of gives the impression that his Green Lantern is Hal Jordan. And like you said, Zack doesn't seem to just lead people on to think certain things. He might say things that we're not 100% sure what they mean, but if someone does ask a question or make an assumption, he does correct it in some way. Yeah. So I do think there is a Hal Jordan or Green Lantern character in the movie. Sam Benjamin, I think, like we were talking about last time, like you said, on one of his interviews, he said his character had a 20 to 30-minute arc in the movie, which I think is pretty significant for him just to be like another military person. Yeah. He could be that, but he was doing a lot of promotion on his social media. Oh yeah. He was posting stuff a lot on Instagram. Even when he found out his role was cut from the movie, which that gives me another idea. That also makes me think that he had a significant role. Because he found out beforehand that his character was cut. I don't know the logistics of how that works with everyone that gets cut from movies in general, but he did know ahead of time, and he was still promoting the movie and still excited to see it. But he was doing a lot of promoting on social media. He was responding to some people's comments that were kind of giving hints that he was Green Lantern. Of course, we remember the Green Heart. Yeah. He had posted on Twitter a picture of a Green Lantern keychain that a friend gave him, and his caption was kind of cryptic. And then also someone had said I'll be watching, I think he was talking about the movie Justice League when it was the premiere, and he said something like, I assume you'll be the one with the green ring or something along those lines. And Sam Benjamin replied he started off with the Green Lantern mantra, I guess you would call it, in Brightest Day. Oh, right. Yeah. He had replied with the first two lines of that. I don't know.
He could just be having fun with the fans, yeah.
Which is totally possible, but I think that'd be kind of misleading.
It would be, and
that'd be kind of a jerk thing to do.
Sam Benjamin out here trolling 100, man. Troll game is on one level.
I mean, Ryan Reynolds trolled the hell out of people over the summer. Well, yeah. Without further ado, let me bring in one last troll. No, I'm joking.
Hello, I'm the troll of all trolls.
All right, so peace out, y'all. We'll see y'all.
Yeah, get out of here, Anthony.
I do have to bounce him. No.
But I don't know. I think people might expect something like that from Ryan Reynolds, just because he's a jokester, and he's talked about the Snyder Cut before and stuff like that. But what was it about? Sam Benjamin had also shared in his Instagram story at one time. Do you remember those posters that came out for Justice League? Each character had half of their face was their character, and half their face was their face.
Yeah.
Half and half.
Oh, yeah. The posters, right.
Yeah, someone had made one for him as Green Lantern, a fan-made one. Yeah. And he had shared that. I mean, I know people share fan-made art and stuff like that kind of depicts them as a character, but
yeah.
I don't know. I think there's too many things pointing to the fact that he could be Green Lantern for him not to be, but
Sure. Yeah, I agree. Matt, what's your thought on Sam Benjamin?
He looks great as Hal Jordan. I think he probably, even better than Ryan Reynolds in my opinion. Ryan Reynolds is a cool guy, but I don't think he looks.
This guy? Come on now. Look at that. That's almost cyborg.
Do you think they'll do the pajama suits or something more practical?
I think because of the backlash that they would have wanted to do something more practical.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my thought on that. So,
I mean, who knows?
I don't think Zach would. Yeah, I don't think Zach would do a whole CGI suit.
I don't think so either.
They already do with Cyborg.
Well, with Cyborg, you kind of have to.
Different.
With Cyborg, you kind of have to.
They could have.
It's a machine.
They could have easily done. What do you call it? The same thing that they did in that one, the Doom Patrol. That's a practical suit.
Well, the fact that you have like part of his face that's like an inch higher than the rest of his head,
Ridiculous.
that would have looked good.
Hey man, why you and Ryan's mic sound funny?
Why do you
Yeah,
sound
yeah,
funny?
both sound weird.
We sound weird.
Like it's like
Well, you messed with my mic.
I didn't know. Don't.
Yes, you did.
I didn't mess with
You
your mic.
messed with my mic,
I did not.
and now I sound weird.
It just
You've
sounded,
always sounded weird.
far away. He said you always sounded weird. Hey, yo, Matt just put on here. They're gonna have fucking Harry Lennox on their shit tomorrow. That's fire.
Ooh, nice, nice. And that should be really that should be a good show.
Yeah.
So, so what are your thoughts, Dawson? Since you just joined us, what are your thoughts on everything?
Is he frozen?
I think I'm frozen.
Yeah, you are frozen.
My computer's freaking out on me.
Oh no.
Yeah, my entire screen is frozen and I can't move my mouse or anything.
Oh, okay. Well,
Give us your thoughts before we lose you.
yeah, yeah.
All right,
Okay.
so-
it's really quick.
So I do agree with it's Sally, right?
Allie.
Allie, sorry, Allie, right.
Yeah,
I
it's
do
okay.
agree with what you were talking about with a lot of these hints, like Sam Benjamin posting and promoting the heck out of the movie and talking about it a lot. And you brought up a good point when, like, even when he found out he wasn't going to be in the movie, that he was still promoting it. Like, if you're in a movie with a bunch of people that
Okay. I think we got the best take out of him tonight. So we're
Why
good.
is he so targeted? Why do you guys pick on him so much?
He's so funny because he can take it. He's a good guy.
He's cool. Yeah, he can.
He's a good guy. He can take it. There are some people who can't take it.
Nah, you're lucky the other guy isn't here. He can't take it. No.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's definitely working.
All right, there we go.
Hey.
It's
Sounds
all
better.
better. It's all better. Okay. Anyway, so like I was saying, Allie had a good point when we see that Sam Benjamin was promoting the heck out of the movie. And, like, I don't know Sam Benjamin very much, but he strikes me as the kind of guy. Well, I mean, obviously none of us ever met him, but just from things that I've seen, he strikes me as the kind of guy that would still support a movie that he worked on despite him being cut because of his friends. Right? Which is what I'd do. Like, if I worked on something and I was cut out, but my friends were still in it, like if you worked with Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, and all of them, I'd still promote it. Like, if you guys did something that I was cut out of, I'd still promote it. So
Yeah,
that's what I think.
I mean, that's just the thing you do, you know?
Yeah. And that's what I think he was doing.
Yeah.
And he
And-
mentioned. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're all good. And Ali, you brought the fact that he has like a 20 to 30 minute arc. And like people in the comments are saying that's the type of arc that Wonder Woman had in BVS. And she was pretty significant. So, I mean.
And it was 3 hours. So
Yeah.
You think so let me ask you guys, do you think it's one clean 30 minutes or it's spread out throughout the 4 hours?
Spread out.
I know it's spread out.
No,
I
yeah.
think that this kind of lends credence to it as well as they're just to go against Grace Randolph saying that there's no Green Lantern in the movie. We got stuff like this right here where
Henry Cavill was
Henry
straight
is
trolling.
promoting. He's promoting that they are he's teasing Green Lantern, and right here he says, since I came off the knee injury, I've been steadily increasing my training workload. I know it's irritating when people say that this, but it genuinely does feel good to be back at it. I'm not destroying my life myself every day, just working towards improving by pushing hard enough to elicit change. Nothing funny to post. It's serious because I've got to make sure that I'm bigger than Green Lantern. Wait, what? Right? So,
Right.
Right.
I mean, right there, he's saying that he's got to be bigger than Green Lantern. So if there's no Green Lantern in the movie, Grace Randolph, who the fuck is he talking about? Sorry, Grace Randolph, but you're coming off because I know there are
hit or miss.
people that say
Yeah.
that because
She is the
she's had words with Zack, and he has told her things that we don't know.
That's true.
That she has some sort of inside information, but she knows all now. Like he's open.
Content's looking dry. We need to pump out more content and come out with more crazy things. Yeah, that's what we got to do.
that's how you do.
The mic's your all way, dude. We got to do it like that now.
Yeah. So then you got this guy here, and like Dawson was saying, Sam Benjamin is promoting a movie that he's not even in.
Yeah.
He's promoting a movie that he's and because he's not in it, I don't know if I don't think he gets royalties. He got paid for his performance, and then that was it. He doesn't get any residuals from this. So why? And Zach wasn't even in the picture anymore. Zach is the one that hired him, and Jeff cut his or not Jeff, but Joss cut him out of the whole film. So who cares? Why promote something that you're really not a part of? So
and to kind of go off of what Anthony asked about it being a one solid 30 minutes or spread out. Again, I'm gonna go with the whole spread out thing because we've seen in Zach's movies, in Man of Steel, BVS, as well as others, where he tries to follow a comic book format, where he'll intersperse different storylines here and there, like a graphic novel does. Like for example, I just reread the Dark Knight Master Race, and in that story, they have a story of Green Lantern that's very much interspersed throughout the different parts of the story. So they're going to do that same, if Sam Benjamin is Green Lantern, which I think he is, they're going to intersperse that story here and there and build up to him being revealed as a Lantern. That's at least how I think he'd do it.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I think he's not in the main narrative like everybody else. He doesn't have as much screen time as Gal or as Ben or Ezra or Ray or Henry even. I think that he's in there, and it was supposed to lead into the Green Lantern core film, which was going to open up the galaxy and take us to Oa, take us to the Red Lantern Corps, possibly maybe the Manhunters. Kind of open it up a little bit more and show, hey, from a different perspective, from the Lantern perspective, how do they view Darkseid? How do they view Apocalypse? How are they affected by Apocalypse? So, I think that's the reason why we still aren't hearing anything about the Green Lantern show, because they're still they've gone back to the drawing board. I think this is the third time they're at the drawing board. They had the first run, which Zach was a part of. They had the second run, which was announced right before HBO Max, or right when HBO Max was in the inception or whatever. And then again, they shared that little picture or whatever at Fandom, and it's been radio silent since, because they're still working out what's going on. Yeah. So. And I have to highlight this from Nicotina because
I highlighted it too. I had to do it. Okay.
I forgot you can do that. So you highlight stuff because I'm busy. I'm moving and shaking.
Never mind, I can't do it.
Don't do that for him. Don't do that.
Don't help him. He doesn't deserve it.
But yeah, okay. So Phil said something. Is she lying? I don't think she's lying. I think that she's misinformed. I think that she's making assumptions based off from what she's been hearing or what she's heard from Zach. I don't think that he's like shown her everything that's behind the curtain. I think that he's shared certain things with her that are valid, that are true, that we all don't know. Mm-hmm. I think that that's true, and she's he continues to go back to her, so she's still a good outlet for him. She has lot of subs.
And I mean, if he did when he did tell her stuff. Do we really think for 1 second that he's going to tell anybody about Green Lantern in his story until the movie comes out? No. He's not going to tell anybody.
No.
Right. Just like the Joker thing, should have been kept under wraps until it came out.
Yeah.
So, I hope that if Green Lantern is in the movie, which I think he is, I hope something doesn't get leaked. Something that's really definitive.
Doomsday?
Well, that's what I mean. I guess something could be leaked that makes people speculate that it's Green Lantern, but I hope it's not something that totally just puts it out there.
Yeah.
Because the Joker thing with Jared Leto, a part of me wishes that we wouldn't have known about that yet.
Still.
I hope that.
Get out of here.
I hope his look doesn't get leaked. His new look. I don't want to see that yet.
Right.
You know, I kind of wish we wouldn't have known about it beforehand.
So let me
I hope,
cut you up there
I
real
hope
quick.
something. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, sorry. ACS, you've got to bounce. You've got a show that's coming on in a couple hours.
I am.
Like an hour.
Sorry, in an hour. And I know you got to bounce, man. That's a fantastic shirt. I hope you wear it for the rest of the day.
He won't.
So you go to sleep tonight.
He better not.
I got something I'm wearing Nick on the show that I'm gonna owe Dawson some royalties for.
Oh.
What?
That's gonna be
right.
fine. All right.
All right.
So,
All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for coming
man.
by, and
All right.
we'll check your show out later.
All right, man. Y'all
Nice
take it
to
easy.
see you.
Peace
All right,
as
nice.
well.
Bye, Allie.
All right. So now that he's gone.
Yeah, let's talk some stuff about him.
All right. So yeah, I'm so sorry, but he let me know in the chat he had to bounce. But so go ahead, Allie. Continue on. Sam Benjamin.
Shoot. Yeah. What was I saying about?
Talking about.
Oh God. I totally lost my thought because I was reading a question.
So we're talking about you're talking about how you don't want things to get leaked.
Oh, right. Yeah. I hope that something doesn't get leaked that totally just gives it away. Like, I think I think hopefully they'll try.
And with no test screeners, that's going to be more likely that's not going to happen, which is great.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing too. Sil Abdul said, so when Steppenwolf says no lanterns, he means all but Sam Benjamin's arc. That's interesting. Well, no, not necessarily, because part of his arc could be that he's not the lantern yet.
That he becomes
the whole
lantern.
movie. Yes, like he gets the ring or something at some point. So
yeah, I mean, because to be honest with you, there are other lanterns out there from OA in different sectors.
Right.
You know, so I mean, if it's not Hal Jordan, then Abin Sur has to be alive, or Abin Sur, hell, even Amon Sur has to be alive. You know, Atrocitus has to be alive. You know, what's his name? I don't know where they are in continuity, but maybe the Blue Lantern Corps hasn't been developed yet. From So yeah, I mean, there are lanterns. There's just no lanterns on Earth. There's no lanterns here. It could be that Hal is pulled away, much like in the 2011 movie when he was pulled away onto OA and he was doing things or whatever. And he's being an international police force away from Earth. So it could be that they don't sense that, or they don't have any sort of readings that there are any lanterns available on the Earth.
What could happen is we could see like a couple minutes of him as like a pilot in the Air Force.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you have a scene where like he sees something green and then like all of a sudden he sees like maybe a portal somewhere and then you don't see him for a while and he comes back at the end and he's a lantern. Which would be interesting to see how they pull that off, but to me that'd be the most likely way they would make him go from just a normal guy to a freaking Green Lantern.
Yeah. Because I agree with Ryan. I don't think he's going to be like at the final battle with Steppenwolf.
Right.
So, but I think at some point they would probably show him somehow that he's going to become a lantern or he's on that path. Like that's his.
Yeah, because from other people that we know, we've seen of course all the stunt coordinating footage where you have a lot of people that are going around and showing hey, maybe somebody gets stabbed with a trident, maybe somebody gets killed by something else or whatever that are our main characters, and one of the actors that were in there or stunt. I guess what do you call them? Stunt actors?
Stunt doubles or...
Oh, yeah. There's somebody you can't tell.
There's someone that's like, who are they? And they cast everybody beforehand. That's why in the sequences, and those are the nightmare sequences that particular sequence was. That's why I was like, if Green Lantern's there, he's going to be in the future. He's going to be in the nightmare sequence, and that's where you're going to find him. And he might die in the future. And then, and that then the ring might, run off to John Stewart. Who knows? But
I just had an idea. What if, because Batman is seeing visions of the future, right? And he's seeing visions of this nightmare scenario. What if in that vision he sees the Green Lantern and sees who it is, and then when he meets him in the present, that's how he knows to like reach out to them and for help. That's the possibility. like reach out
to them. Oh, okay, yeah. It's kind of like the that whole the Flash from the television show. Did they make the symbol white because you saw it in the clipping in the future, or was that going to be a natural change or whatever? Because it started off in the TV show. It started off with the red symbol and the lightning bolt. So yeah, interesting. That could be. It could be like, I've seen that before. I've seen that somewhere before. And I didn't really take notice of it, but now that I see it again, I can it's kind of like deja vu, but not. So yeah, and I can tell. What are your thoughts, Matt?
Well, I'm just curious, how's he going to get the ring? Is Abin Sur going to crash, or is Abin Sur going to be like I don't know if you remember the Flashpoint Paradox movie where they had him frozen in a base with his ship and everything. Like there's different routes that they could go with this on how he gets the ring.
It doesn't have to be that trope where he on the planet and tomorrow morning in there
his aircraft uniform for being a soldier or whatever. That could be how he discovers the ring and things. He was sneaking around and he was that's how he finds it. I don't know. That's what I've been thinking the whole time.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So for Jon Stewart himself is too old. He's not doing anything anymore. He retired from that show. But who could play Jon Stewart? Who isn't Jon Stewart? Everybody likes the Washington guy that was in Chris Nolan's.
Film.
He's gonna be Hawkman.
No.
That was
not him. That's
I'm talking about Denzel Washington's kid.
Yeah.
John David Washington.
John David.
Yeah, John David Washington.
John David. Okay. And I know that he's a fan favorite now because of that movie, but I don't know if they would actually choose him to be the Lantern. It's almost like Idris Elba was cast as everybody and everybody.
Any iconic African American guy, everybody fan casts Idris Elba for. I mean, that's what everybody does.
So I'm horrible with names. No, you weren't joking, Nicotina. You were being dead serious. Take your comment away. But yeah. So I'm sure that there are plenty of talented people out there that could get a shot. And now that John David Washington is sort of in the forefront in the mind's eye of the public, does that discount him from becoming Jon Stewart? Because now people know him, and so they won't. Kind of like Gal. Gal was I think Anthony was saying earlier.
Yeah, Anthony was saying
the Fast and Furious. Nobody really knew her. So when you look at her, you see Wonder Woman. When you look at Henry, you see Superman. When you look at Ben, you see all the other stuff that Ben's done. And when you look at but no, Batman looks awesome, but his face is covered, so it's okay, you see Batman. But when you look at John David Washington, you're like, oh, that's Denzel's son, or that's the guy from Lieutenant. It sort of kind of takes you out of it to where you really want somebody else, somebody that again would be an unknown. It's like you don't want the guy from Creed,
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, who played the Black Panther villain. You don't want him because then you're like, okay, he's very well known. His face is very recognizable. You want somebody just like Ray Fisher. You want somebody like Ray Fisher, a very talented person that he's Cyborg, and you want to do the same thing with he's Green Lantern, the same thing. Sam Benjamin.
Trying to make your iconic character.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny you bring that up because my husband and I were talking about that one night that Ben Affleck was probably obviously the biggest name that was added to the DCEU.
Right. I didn't see that.
And all the others, like you said, are kind of just weren't these household name actors. Gal Gadot, yes, I've seen Fast and Furious, but I didn't realize that I was like, oh, that is her. Well, plus there's 15,000 Fast and Furious movies, so I can't even remember all of them. But they weren't household names like Ben Affleck. First of all, I was totally on board with him being Batman from the beginning. I don't know what everyone was freaking out about. I've always loved him, but anyway.
Daredevil.
But just as an actor, in general, I've always liked him. So anyway, he was. And then if you think about the interesting thing, Man of Steel has all these huge actors besides Henry Cavill at the time.
Yeah, you have Lawrence Fishburne.
You know, so it's I mean, a huge
who else?
cast, A-list
Yeah, I mean,
cast.
Michael Shannon
I
wasn't
mean-
even
Russell
that
Crowe,
big.
man. Russell Crowe.
I mean,
Well,
Russell Crowe,
Kevin
Kevin Costner,
yes.
Diane Lane, like
Amy
Diane Lane,
Adams.
yeah.
big names.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then here's Superman that kind of everyone's like, I still haven't seen Immortal start to finish. And so I wasn't really familiar with him, except I knew he was in the Tudors. But like you have all these big names. I mean, you have all these big names besides Superman is not.
Right.
And then, like you said, like all the Justice
Count
League
of Monte
members.
Cristo.
Yeah.
He was a kid.
His first movie. So I think I agree that it's probably better for a Green Lantern not to be some huge big name actor that everyone
Ben
knows.
did play Superman in a different movie. So.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But he played a person that was
George Reed. Yeah, he
yes,
played George
there you
Reed.
go.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like you said,
With
Allie,
Diane Lane.
Ben Affleck was by far the biggest name of anybody that came into the DCEU.
Yeah.
But mostly because he fit the role so well for what Zach was looking for.
Yeah.
Yes. I think
and
perfect.
And that's the most important thing for Zach is, do you fit the role well? Not how much money can you make me just by
Yeah.
you being in the movie.
Yeah.
That's not his focus. Is can you perform the role? And so that's why when people talk about, like, again, with Ryan Reynolds, when people talk about, like, oh, you need a big name in there, it's like, first off, this is a massive movie. You already have an established Superman, an established Batman. You don't need a big name actor as Green Lantern to draw people to the film. You just don't need that. So get an actor who portrays that role as best as possible and most accurately as possible, depending on the vision, and then you're all set to go. So, I mean, there you have it.
And he praised Zack Snyder a lot. Like
Oh, yeah.
in the interviews he's done about it, or like in some of his posts, like he's praised Zack Snyder a lot, like working with him and the cast members, like how he was so excited to work with them. And even if his even if his part of the his character was cut, like he was still really thankful to Zach, like most of them are.
Yeah, a lot of
To
them are.
be a part of it.
The Dyson, Karen Dyson, is that her name? That was the mother of Cyborg.
Oh yeah.
She was very appreciative.
I can't remember her
she
name,
was
but
very, she had nothing but nice things to say about Zach and all that. And she was cut. She was cut from the film.
Nobody has anything but nice things to say about Zach. I mean, that have actually worked with him. That have actually worked with him.
I mean, I haven't even heard anything truly from Jeff or Joss negative about Zach either.
Right.
They don't say anything about him. So,
They just do terrible things.
They just try to destroy him on the down low,
yeah.
thinking no one's gonna notice.
But we did.
So Joey has a question. So at this point with HBO Max, is it succeeding or failing, in your opinion? As far as like I'm assuming he's referring to their new model of playing in theaters as well as on streaming, and whoever's comfortable doing whatever we're cool with too. So Matt, what do you think about that?
I think it's a win.
All
I
right.
think they'll succeed.
Go ahead.
They'll definitely succeed off that, man. And just like I think this is like a step into a new era. It's definitely a big step.
Yeah. I mean, we're approaching a new decade, so might as well start something new for this decade.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it makes them really competitive against Disney Plus. And I single out Disney Plus compared to Netflix and Hulu because their originals just, I don't know, they stay on there. Like you don't think of Netflix and Hulu releasing stuff that's going to go to theaters. So I don't know. I guess I single out Disney Plus because of Mulan and what they were kind of, that was like the first movie for that to happen.
It was
Yeah, so I think
think
Disney Plus is probably more competitive as far as like a streaming service.
Yeah.
So I know there's people who are like, this is a terrible idea, blah blah blah. I immediately was like, this is a good idea in my opinion. I think it gives people a lot of options to feel comfortable watching movies at home. I think it's convenient. And I think doing like the 1 month thing will help them as far as like losing money or whatever. just keeping it on there for a month. Okay, I have a question about this.
Okay.
The 1 month, is that at no extra cost, or is that just on there? Like it's only on there for the first month period?
I think it's only on there for 1 month for you to enjoy it, and then they'll take it off, and then you will
cycle through,
and then later on. Okay, that's what I wasn't 100% sure about. But then there's also the options for them to still do, like, you can buy it on Google Play later on or something like that. So I don't think, as far as like, well, I don't know the logistics of that, but if they're worried about losing money because they're going to take a hit, one way or the other. Plus, I mean, HBO Max is like twice as much as the other streaming services. So it's fair for them to not, to just do it for the first month, in my opinion. But I think that, other streaming services might eventually follow suit in some way.
Yeah.
Even if they do like have an extra charge, maybe not $30, but maybe a little extra.
That's pretty steep. I mean, most people well, I would go buy popcorn and I would do this and that and whatever. And I'm like, good for you, but I mean, I'm sorry, but when I go to the movies, I put I'll take my daughter with me, and we're gonna stack her little purse with M&Ms and all kinds of goodies, and what we used to do, which is horrible, but again, we don't have any money. They used to give us those cups.
Forget not having money. It was just an easy way to do it. It was the easiest.
They used to give us those big plastic cups, 32 ounce, whatever. And all we do is we go home, wash them, bring them back, and just refill them and reuse them. And we're just like, there you go. We bring our own stuff because that shit's hell expensive.
It's expensive. To take your family to the movies can, turn out to be like a pretty expensive night, and that's mostly because of like concession. And so I think, especially like I was saying, for certain people, it gives them a lot of convenience. Like if you have small kids, like I do, which they do okay at the movie, like, but still, for certain people, or who people are just nervous if I want to be able to watch these movies, but I don't feel comfortable still going out to a theater. Or in some places, like where theaters are still going to be closed. Also, I think that for them to just keep pushing movies back would have been worse in the long run, because like the state of theaters might just be getting worse.
Yeah.
If they're not releasing anything.
Yeah, if they don't release anything and it's stagnant and it sits on the shelves. Okay, so I've talked about this in other streams, but I'll go again here because it's interesting. It's still relevant, and more people need to sort of like get on that. So and thank you everybody that have been with us so far and listening to the discussion and also contributing to the discussion too. Thank you so much. But the thing is that all these corporations or entities have this hype machine that they build, and they start from like announcing a film, then they go to announcing the cast, then they go to announcing the principal photographer, or they'll tease you with images, or they'll have there's all these spies that go out and get horrible grainy images of production, and you see everybody that's supposed to be what they look like in these parts or these roles or whatever, and they have this hype engine that they build until the release of the film. They release teasers, trailers, TV spots, all kinds of stuff, and then they release the film and try to cash in as much as they can, and then they release it on the streaming services and things like that. And then after they do that, they put it on physical media so that you can own it. And again, they'll get residuals from purchasing the physical media. Well, that whole model, because of this COVID crap, has been obliterated. So everything that they put into these movies, like what we were talking about, Wonder Woman Doritos, that was in the summertime. That all of the promotional stuff, they have to go back and kind of refigure out how do we make this profitable again in this climate, in these conditions? How do we make it, to where it still brings in the same amount of money? You're not going to see Aquaman, Joker, billion-dollar movies now. That people are just not going to do it unless they can find a way to give it to them in their homes. That way it's convenient and they're willing to pay for it because they don't want to go out and get killed by this crazy COVID thing that's like, around every corner looming. So, so with this thing, I've seen a couple of titles for or thumbnails for different YouTube videos or whatever about like how desperate these entities are and how horrible this is an idea this is, and it just means the end of this that or whatever, the whole Chicken Little or Henny Penny kind of verbiage. But it's just like these people are just trying to figure out, well, how do we best navigate this storm, and get and still be above float, above the red tape on the other side of the of this issue. What are your thoughts on that, Dawson?
So kind of talk about the split of like having an HBO Max as well as in the theaters. I think socially it's a brilliant idea because right now in modern society you have kind of three groups as far as the mental frame of mind of where they're at when it comes to COVID. Right, you have those who are deathly afraid of it and refuse to go anywhere unless they absolutely have to, and wear masks in their car and whatnot. That's just how they do their business. And you have the other side who doesn't really care, and there's people who refuse to wear masks because they just don't want to, and they go out and do what they want. And you have people in the middle who are kind of like, I'll wear masks where I'm supposed to, and like stuff like that. So you have people who have a different frame of mind of like people who want to go out to theaters and people who want to stay home. Mm-hmm. And so the fact that you have the option to do both appeals to both sides of your audience, which is definitely a win. And so you do good in the eyes of the public, and again, you have the opportunity to make money in the theaters. You have the opportunity to get new subscriptions. Like, for example, if someone's not a subscriber now and there's a movie that comes out on HBO Max in theaters, and let's say there's someone who doesn't want to go out to theaters and like risk it, then they'll sign up for HBO Max, watch that movie and won't have access to it, and then maybe after a little bit they'll get off, but they'll have at least made the same money they would have if they would have gone to the theater. You see what I mean? Yeah. So I think they're doing a great job of balancing out what they would lose at the theater with people not going with having it on HBO Max.
Yeah, I think, Enosh has a good point here. Theaters won't close down. I think some will, the smaller ones that aren't a part of like a huge Lowe's, not Lowe's. There was a Lowe's, AMC or Cinemark or Regal or some of the larger theaters. They might have to close certain theaters down and leave the more profitable ones open. The bigger houses that they're able to pack more people in. But what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to really change the way the amount of people that they can pack into a theater. They're going to have to start taking thermometer checks and things like that. When people come in, they're going to have to offer some way of like sectioning parts off for different sizes, families or groups or whatever. They're gonna have to come up with some really interesting ways. Like hell, the Alamo Draft House or the what are the other ones called? Where you go eat at the theater. Mm-hmm. I think those things are going to sort of go by the wayside a little bit because people aren't going to be. People do go up to restaurants, but you're going to be going there for like 5 families in a theater to eat. Like that's not that many people, and that's not profitable unless they're going to raise the prices of the dishes and things like that, or raise the price of the admission ticket, and it's going to deter people because nobody wants to spend an arm and a leg just to get out of the house for that kind of engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when was it? I think yesterday or the day before. Patty Jenkins had like retweeted a video from Cinemark. Mm-hmm. Cinemark put out a video on social media showing all the ways that they are, all the precautions, all the measures they're taking. So I don't know about other theaters, but for them, they are doing things like, of course, all the sanitation things.
Yeah.
But they're staggering show times, so there's not as many people in the theater in general at a time. So like, there's not so many people overlapping for show times between start and end times. And they're also doing, of course, cleaning seats and all that. And then, so when you, like you were talking about for certain party sizes, mm-hmm. when you reserve your seats online, when you buy your tickets, say you reserve 4 seats, the seats around you will automatically be locked. So people can't sit right next to you. Mm-hmm. And they're also doing like reduced ticket prices and concession prices. I don't know how long it's going to last, but they're like to open back up those are some of the things they're
Well,
doing.
a lot of the concession things, it was self-serve, but I mean, like a lot of the concession things, like at burger joints and things like that, they made it to where like the patrons cannot go over and put their cup underneath the machine and get one drink or whatever. Some do it now. I've been to, but yeah, no, it's still it's a very delicate ground that they have to go over. And Enos is saying that's like saying McDonald's can't sell any burgers anymore at the restaurant, but McDonald's will stay open because the meat supplier will deliver to people's houses. No, what they're going to do is they will do exactly like Chick-fil-A. They will make it to where you cannot go and dine in. You can only, and we went through that whole Chick-fil-A line with Enoch, is they will have people outside, in the cold, attending to the cars, and just sort of taking their orders and just like you stay your little butt in your car, and we're going to give you your meal, but we don't want to have any physical interaction with you. We'll send you on your way, and a lot of people, a lot of places do that. Like Chinese restaurants now in my area are the ones that were like, we're just not doing dine-in at all, and they're all mom and pop, but yeah, I mean, we're still going to order from them. We're still going to go pick it up, and there's still protocol for when you get in there and you get your food and you have to leave. But again, it's the same thing. It's like, everybody has to sort of, take their own measures of what they feel like is acceptable to protect their employees, as well as service the people that are coming. So again, I see the theaters being able to do it, but it's going to be kind of pain in the ass a little bit to go through the different stages to actually get into the theater, into your seat, and still have your patrons feel safe, still have your staff feel safe, because you're in an enclosed environment. And that really, I mean, a better thing to do would be, if somebody wanted to invest back into drive-in theaters. Now, there's a theater at down the way. They have gone to Home Depot and they have built their own outdoor, drive-in theater type, canvases out in their parking lots.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
it's a theater that they're no longer letting you inside. They're making people park outside. I don't know how they're, I've never, really messed with that. But I mean, they built two different screens, and they're allowing their patrons to view it from the comfort of their own cars. And drive-in solution. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
How did you figure that out? How did you figure that out? There's no way you drove out there. There's no way you figured that out.
Well, that's another thing is like you can probably expect to see a couple more of those being built, like just outdoor theaters, because of the whole convenience thing. And I think that's what you have to do to stay in business. You have to get creative. You have to figure out how to adapt to the situation.
Or revert. Just do drive-in theaters.
Yeah.
It'd be a cool reason to bring back drive-ins.
Yeah, because I mean, they all got phased out. Like I know of one drive-in theater that is about maybe 30 to 40 minutes from the house, and it's still active. They still show regular releases, regular movies, whatever. But it's kind of I live in a huge metropolitan area, and so it's kind of out in the outer echelon, or sort of in the rural type area, just away from the cities. So, and I'm sure that's still a thing, because people feel more safe in their car. There's people that are out there that still wear their mask inside their own damn vehicles. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous.
When they're alone.
When they're alone. I saw one lady, I kid you not. She was wearing a mask. She was wearing protective goggles. She was covered up, and she had bandages around. She had the yellow dish
hazmat gloves.
Gloves, yes.
Oh,
and she was
rubber gloves.
I was like, dude, that is so unsafe.
I was
kill somebody before COVID does.
I was flying back home from Vegas, and there were a couple of people that I saw who had those like construction worker like gas masks. They had a surgical mask over top of that. They had safety goggles and then one of those like mask visors on the plane. And I'm just sitting there like in my normal mask, just like, wow, okay, all right, you do you. But I want to address Enosh's latest comment here, saying you can't watch the movie like. Oh no, not that. Says, with HBO Max making their movies available online, no one will go to the movie theater. But that's the thing is people still will go because the experience. Like Ryan bought his ticket for Wonder Woman 84. I'm going to go see it in theaters if it's in Edisto Beach where I'm going to be. I mean, there's still people that are going to go to the theater just because they want to go to the theater. It's just the fact that you have that option, which is nice. Like you can go to the theater at night and go see it. Then the next day you can watch it again on HBO Max.
Yeah.
So like people are still going to go to the theater. Like,
yes,
not all of the United States population is just going to abandon movie theaters all of a sudden just because it's available on HBO Max. Because people have the same nostalgic feel about theaters that you do, Enosh. You know, people love the theater. People love that experience. So there you go.
No, I agree. I think that, you know, people want to kind of, you know, overcome this and not seek some sense of normalcy, but just, you know, say, hey, we're out doing
to not be afraid.
To not be afraid. To not fear, you know, the unknown. Because everybody's like, you know, there's just people who are almost scared of their shadow, and there's people who are already germaphobes. That this is heightened that sort of, you know, that fear, that phobia. So, you know, and what they're going to do, they're going to train their kids to be afraid of this, you know, and they're going to, you know, because they affect the people around them as well. So, I mean, it's a very delicate thing to you know, kind of move past or get over. The biggest risk factors in the theater is unmasking to eat and drink, along with exposure to recirculated air. Well, I mean,
you do that.
Really, there's nothing you can do then.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, go in there with a respirator on. You know, hook yourself up to a tank of oxygen and enjoy the movie.
And I know a lot of different places, especially around here, that have completely renovated their air system to where the recirculated air isn't as much of a risk. So like businesses are preparing in that way. Like businesses and buildings of business are more safe now than ever because of all the precautions they take. Like they're more sanitary now more than ever. Yep. Like you look at places, they're spraying like disinfectants or not disinfectants. What's it called? They're spraying down things all the time, like 24/7. Like every 30 minutes, there are employees with masks go around, scrub things down, clean things. And so, like,
that's how Cinemark's going to be every 30 minutes. And then they're going to the seats and they'll have wipes for your seat. Like,
because like I was saying, it was the same thing at the grocery store. I used to go to the grocery store. There was an attendant. They used to stand there in the sort of lobby area where you go and you get your basket, and they would wipe down all the baskets. Now they have a bucket and they have a wipe, and you can wipe it at your own risk. The attendant is gone. They're off doing something else.
Yeah.
They're more lax. They don't care. They're just, you know, and not until there's another, you know, huge scare or whatever that they're going to say, hey, you know what, we need to reevaluate this. We need to get the person back out there. And it's just, I mean, there's really no 100% way to navigate.
And I think the biggest thing to keep in mind,
about, you know, separating rows and things like that. But I mean, again, if somebody's going to, you know, cough or sneeze or whatever, that's a projectile, you know, that's going to travel over one row. That's at least 2 rows.
And I think the biggest thing to keep in mind with this whole putting it on HBO Max or putting on streaming services as well as in theaters is that, to me, this looks like a temporary thing. This looks like it'd be a temporary fix. Like, because let's be honest, studios want to have their movies put in the theater. That's where they make their big bucks. That's where they make their money to where they can fund their next production. So they want to have their movies in the theaters strictly. But right now, they know that they can't do that. They know that they will lose money. So for the time being, they're going to have it this way. And so when things start to get normal, because vaccines are getting developed, things are starting to look up. So as soon as that all starts to fade away, people are going to want to flood to the theater because people are like, thank you, I can finally go out. They feel safe if they're vaccinated. I mean, there's still going to be debate about all of that stuff. But I mean, it's not going to be like it is right now.
So with Enosh's comment right here, like I just wanted to say, like, I don't think they'll release it earlier online. I think they do the opposite. They release it early in theaters and then release it on like HBO Max or something later if HBO Max is really successful and they really want to, like, you know, release movies on streaming services. That's what I think.
Well, I'm thinking that the current model of releasing it same day is good. I think that, you know, as long as they have people that are giving them a residual monthly, you know, fee or a monthly, monthly revenue from different households, I think that is good enough to sustain, you know, what they're doing for the time being, and then also offering it at a discounted rate to go to the theater and also to keep shooting things in IMAX. I want to go see the Justice League in IMAX. It was shot particularly for that. I want to see that. I want to have that experience, you know, and I'm going to. As long as they, if they make it available, I'm going to put my trust in whatever. I'm going to wear my shield, my mask, whatever I need to do, and the movie starts. I'm going to pull the popcorn, or I'm going to pull the M&Ms out of my pocket, and I'm going to eat them and have a good time.
Yeah, and I've said a few times, like in videos and stuff, when this discussion started coming up a lot, was that I think it's just the best compromise they could have made to, like Matt was saying, it's just they know that, yes, they can't just, they're not going to make $1 billion right now. Even with Wonder Woman, like movies that should have made a lot of, like Tenet should have been a big movie this year. I was surprised that they released it in theaters, to be honest. But again, they probably didn't want to just keep pushing movies back. And Wonder Woman 84, like that release date has moved all over the place since before COVID happened. So for them to just keep pushing movies back is worse. And I think they're trying to think like more long term, even if it's just, okay, after next year, they're not going to do this anymore. But still, at first I was like, this is bold that they're announcing this before Wonder Woman 84 has this trial run of doing this model. But then I was thinking, well, with Wonder Woman, like I thought at first they would try that, see how it goes, and then decide. But I guess doing this before and announcing it, they're probably thinking like, well, maybe we can get people to stick around instead of just, okay, I'm going to sign up, watch Wonder Woman as much as I want that month. And then maybe cancel my subscription if I don't like everything else they have to offer, or just to watch that movie, without having to go to a theater. But if they announce it before that movie comes out and they're like, look, all year we're going to have these blockbuster movies released on HBO Max and theaters the same day, like that incentivizes people to stick around if they're not as interested in some of the other stuff. I know HBO Max is a great streaming service, but since it is more than other streaming services, like I think that gives people, incentive to stick around instead of just watching Wonder Woman and then maybe, canceling their subscription or something, because they did cancel you can't sign up for a free trial right now, correct?
I don't know. I get it already.
When I was
I don't have to worry about it.
It didn't say free trial, but I think if they did cancel it, it would be fair, to be honest. Because, I mean, like, I think that's fair. If you're going to pay $15 and have all these movies that are released in theaters,
I think for the next couple of years, like Zada's saying, it's only going to be special engagements. Like you're like they're doing this for like Kong, but for Kong versus Godzilla as well. Putting in theaters as well as on the streaming service. But like it's only going to be big tentpole films that are going to like you're not going to go see a rom-com at the movies. Like I'm going to go and watch Sleepless in Seattle or whatever at the movie theater, because that's not the kind of movie that's going to get the masses out. Like Enosh was saying, they need people to go out again. They need people to sort of like, it's kind of like that movie Jaws, when the mayor goes over and is like, hey, put your kids in the water, with the sharks. And so then after that, everybody goes and does it. And then, again, somebody's going to yell shark or COVID or whatever. And then everybody's going to go panic again, trample over each other and try to get out of the theater and kill somebody. And Enosh going to be like, no, come back. I can't be there.
It's going to be a while before HBO Max is international.
Oh yeah, I know. That's.
It's going to take a while for that to happen.
That they just partnered with Roku. No, was it Roku?
Amazon and Roku.
Yeah. Okay. Amazon. Amazon was what I was thinking of. But yes, that's why so they can get to that international audience, because it is very important for Zack to get his movie available, because there's a lot of supporters overseas as well.
Yeah.
Let's see.
You guys want to hear something interesting?
Yeah.
So fans. Speaking of fans of international audiences, the CCXP is going on, and they just had a panel talking with Scott Snyder, who of course is a very great comic book author. With of course, you have Superman Unchained, and you also have Court of Owls, all this good stuff. Yeah. But they talked about him adapting, like planning comics based on Zack Snyder films. But he says Scott Snyder was asked by DC to expand on Zack Snyder's Justice League in the comics, but had to refuse because of a busy schedule. But could you imagine if that were the case, if Scott Snyder like expanded on that, and we had like Zack Snyder's Justice League based graphic novels
Sure, that'd be
How
great.
freaking dope would that be? Illustrated by Jim Lee or Greg Capullo.
Oh, I mean, if it were yes, okay, but yeah, no, or even David Finch. I think that that would have been amazing. That would have been great, to have more of that universe sort of explored and expounded upon in different forms of media. Like even like Jay Oliva, even if he came in and did something, like an animated movie that was based in this particular, Earth. Because I mean, right here, I mean, this is the Snyder verse. Like all they need to do is just sort of expand on it, open it up, kick the door open, and give us a crap ton of more media. But I mean, if he said that he had to refuse or had to decline, I don't think we're going to get that. But I mean, just to know that was sort of on the table or a thought, that's actually kind of cool. What are your thoughts, Ellie?
Yeah, I think that would be cool. Zach did say that he likes him too. Scott Snyder. So,
who wouldn't?
That would be
Snyder like each other. Wow.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was in my mind because he said that recently.
I mean, when you write something like this, I mean, how can you not like the guy?
There you go.
No, it would be cool to see something like that though, because like it's even cool to see when like newer comic book artists or animations or whatever you want to think of, that they look similar to Zack Snyder's universe. Like, how Aquaman has changed a lot since he, revamped him with Jason Momoa. Like, it's cool to see how it can inspire the comic books and the animated things. So, yeah, it's pretty cool how they can do that. But I'm sure if they did like a comic book run or some kind of animated series or movies or whatever that are related to or based on, or like they're supposed to exist in the same, world or universe, I'm sure people would really enjoy that. Like, I think that would be a pretty big hit, because even people still talk about the Man of Steel prequel comic, and that was just like one little thing that it wasn't supposed to be the whole series. Like, that was cool.
It was a cool little extra thing for fans, and all that. Yeah, they're going off in their own tangent, but yeah, it was really cool. It would be nice to see different media, like I said, just a different animated series, sort of based in that world. That'd be awesome. So let me ask Dawson this, because this is a very important question now that the Comic-Con has been released and all that. What are your thoughts on the Batfleck HBO Max series that they just announced?
Don't play me. Don't play me. Don't play me. You jerk. It's happening, but they haven't announced it, you jerk.
That's what I think
they're
too.
Not going to announce it because it's going to totally squash, destroy.
Man, you just keep giving me reasons to be pissed at you, man.
Like, there's no way we missed it.
Yeah, no, I would have been pissed if I was on Zeeverfett's stream and I missed Ben Affleck's Batman announcement.
You know what?
No matter how much I love you.
It would have made me more happy than seeing the Razor Crest get obliterated. I would have been like, yes! I would have replayed it, like, your reaction.
You're gonna piss off Enosh with that. He's gonna be so bad.
Enosh and I, we just purchased that $350 toy, and that means nothing. It's gone.
Well, now it's a novelty item.
Yeah. It's like, oh well.
So they're not going to make those anymore, and so now you can sell them for really expensive and make some money. So, I mean, if you want to. Enosh is not going to, though.
No. I mean, even the sail bars got destroyed. Jabba's sail barge. So, hey.
Yeah.
It's and that's still a cool toy. I'd like to have that one. That's pretty awesome. It's pretty huge. Yeah. What was that, Matt?
Nothing.
Okay, and moving on. So, but yeah. Okay, so we talked about Green Lantern. We talked about the state of the world. So, so let me get your final thoughts on what you want from a Green Lantern HBO Max series. Let's start with Matt this time. Matt, tell me what you want.
Give me other lanterns, man.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. So
red,
blue. What you really want.
I want to see the whole core, like all the cores. I want to see them all. That'd be so cool. Or even Manhunters. We haven't seen Manhunters on live action.
I haven't seen Manhunters either. Yeah.
That's what I want.
All right. Well, I hope you get what you want.
Oh, I will.
Well,
all right, Allie, what do you hope for this HBO Max series?
It's kind of hard to say because there's not much that we know about it.
That's true.
I guess you don't have to know too much about it to know what you want to see, but like I know there was a thing that came out not that long ago about like it's going to span over like, different decades and stuff, which I think is pretty cool. But I don't know. I guess I want it to be not. I know it's not a CW show, but I guess since those are the since those are the other DC series that like within the past recent years that we've had.
Yeah,
I just want it to be like mature. I don't know what the word I'm trying to say.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
sure.
I know it's not going to be like movie quality. Well, I guess the Green Lantern movie wasn't movie quality either. But
yeah, you're speaking truth.
Boom, roasted.
I like Ryan Reynolds, but they didn't give him a fair shot. But
I feel like Titans did a good job.
I like Ryan Reynolds, but
there
he
you
should
go.
have been Wally West.
If it's like that, then I'm all for it.
Yeah, see, I like
Titans.
Titans.
Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
He looks like Hal, but he doesn't act like Hal.
Yeah. See, I like Titans too, but so I'm glad it moved to HBO Max. But yeah, more along those lines where it's not everything has to be dark and gritty, but like just a little bit more, I don't know, deep.
Like with actual stakes.
Like corny stuff. Yes. Yeah. Like I don't want corny stuff. I don't want like you know what I mean?
So,
like I just want
to. Do you want it connected to the Zack Snyder movies? Like those Green Lanterns are tied to that universe, or do you want it to be its own thing, not relying or dependent on any narrative or story from that
That's a good
narrative?
Yeah, I think it would be interesting if it was tied into Zack, but I guess I don't know if it made sense. Like if it seemed like if they make it seem like this would exist in Zack Snyder's universe, like it has to feel connected, not just like story wise, but also like it feels like the same world.
Yeah.
Then yes. But if they try to make it seem like they exist, they coexist, but then it's kind of like it just doesn't feel like it does, then no. I guess it depends on like how since it is going to span over like decades, I guess that it would take more, like they'd really have to think about how they're going to connect it to Zack Snyder's universe. But
I feel like it'd be pretty easy. I mean, especially since it's a big galaxy. Like, I don't think Snyder's going to go that big besides Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So I think it could work. It's just like with Hal Jordan, or I don't think Hal Jordan's going to be in it, but if he were to pop up, it'd have to flow and make sense.
Right.
I mean, like the Mandalorian, like with what they're doing and they're connecting it with Star Wars lore. I think it could work. I mean, honestly.
No, yeah, I think it could work. I think it would just probably, but then I don't know because like since they're doing this whole multiverse thing and like not everything has to be connected, I think it gives them a little bit more freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
When everything doesn't have to connect, and so.
Yeah, and it's a good thing, and it's also it's a good thing and a bad thing in that the Aquaman movie doesn't connect with the Justice League movie, or anything else. But I mean, it's still cool that that they can both coexist in the same realm or whatever, but they don't have to follow the same narrative or whatever. Like when he comes back and does Justice League 2, he doesn't have to really worry about
what happened,
how he looked, or he doesn't have to sort of adhere to what happened in the Aquaman movie. Same thing with the Flash movie as well. Even though it's still using Ezra and he's going to have a different costume, he could come back and for Justice League 2 and still have that crazy NASA.
It's kind of like with how they're going to be speaking in Justice League underwater. They're supposed to be speaking in some weird tongue or something.
Yeah. I have a clip of it right here.
Wait, no, you don't.
Here it is. That was Steppenwolf, and he was saying, "Ah!"
See, I like how Zack Snyder explained it on his Grace Randolph interview when he said that like his movies are connected.
Yes.
Or people have started calling the Snyderverse. Like his movies are connected, and they set up, like you said, Justice League was supposed to set up for all these other solo movies, but that doesn't mean that like each story affects the other story. You know, like where was Wonder Woman when this was going on in this movie and blah blah blah. Like that doesn't have to. So I like that.
They all have to adhere to him. You know, like they got to go off what he's done.
I think what they can do is they can kind of cherry pick what they want. Like I like this, I don't like that. I'm going to do this, but what I'm picking and choosing is best suited for my story.
Right.
And therefore, it you know, and you can go and you can enjoy it and be like, and it also for us commentators here, it makes it fun as well as far as like this discussing. Well, whose interpretation did you like better? Did you like the Atlantean dialogue that they came up with, or did you like that they just spoke English underwater and they could do that because they were Atlantean or of Atlantean lineage or whatever? You know, they were a different type of evolved human or humanoid or whatever. You know, and we can have another stream about that. You know, once we hear that. So, I mean, it makes for an interesting an interesting. I love this. I'm sorry.
I love how Matt can highlight whatever he wants. This is great.
Yeah, I could do anything, man. I could just.
Hey,
yes.
Hey. All right. You're
booted on his own channel.
Yeah, how do I?
I love it.
How do I not allow him to have access? But yeah. So I think it's great that there's sort of a smorgasbord of things that you can do, and it's so versatile. You know, it's not limited. You know, when it's limited, then it constricts. Same thing with Marvel, what they're facing right now. They can't release this because this and this attached to it, and they depend on each other, and that makes it limited. That's why they're stuck. And that's why nobody cares about their properties anymore because, you know, they're kind of in a hiatus now. And it's like, release an image of Spider-Man 3. Well, you got all like 6 films over here that you're not releasing anything for. Why the hell would they release, you know, a new image of Spider-Man? They don't want to hype you for this one. They've already got this over here, you know. Yeah. So what are your thoughts, Dawson? What about the HBO Max Green Lantern? You know, what are your expectations? What do you want to see?
Well, I like what you've been saying, Ryan, about how they should explore the entire galaxy, which is the Green Lanterns, because they have a dominion over the entire universe. Yeah. So, like, just explore different worlds, explore different possibilities. And I also like how you guys are saying how, or I guess how Ali pointed out, that everything is kind of connected, but not really. It doesn't have to be. I hope they treat it like a comic book run, where they go in their own narrative, but if it connects, then great. That'd be really cool, but it doesn't have to. Because, again, they don't have to even mention Earth at all. They don't have to mention Earth whatsoever. And so they could have it be connected without, like, having to wire things together and say, like, oh, yeah, do you remember this? This is connected to this. They could just say, like, oh, this is happening somewhere else. Yeah, just treat it and everything else in DC right now just as its own line. Kind of like with the Batman with Matt Reeves. Treat that as its own, like, comic book run, stuff like that. And I just want to see it in that way. Because like you said, Ryan, like, the fact that the MCU is everything connected, I mean, it's clever that they did that, and it appeals to a general audience, but at the same time, like you said, it makes them stuck to where they're not dependent on each other. In this format, you can make whatever story you want and have its own run and be entertaining and appeal to different parts of the audience. So that's my thoughts.
All right. Well, we're approaching a 2-hour mark. I want to go ahead and wrap things up a bit. Thanks everybody for joining us. Let me go ahead and go around the little round table that we have here. I'd like to also thank a big shout out to ATS for joining us earlier. He had to go because he has a show coming up in about 5 minutes. Oh, 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes. So where can everybody find you, Ali, on Super Hive? That's the name of your YouTube channel as well as Twitter?
Yeah. Well, my channel is Super Hive. My YouTube handle is Super Hive DC because Super Hive was not available. So at Super Hive DC. But yes, and that's also the name of my Super Hive is my YouTube channel.
Just subscribed.
Awesome. Yeah. No, I mean, she's killer stuff. I've been checking out all your videos. They're really, really very well and informative. So
thank you.
I dig it. And Matt, just kind of stay there. Dawson, where can everybody find you on Nerdy in Many Ways on Twitter, Vero, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram.
So you can find me in all those places. YouTube at Nerdy in Many Ways. You can find me on Twitter at NIMW32, as well as Instagram. Find me on Vero at Dawson Weidrich. You can also find me on Spotify. I'm trying to get better at uploading my different streams audio to Spotify. So just type in Nerdy in Many Ways. I should have the Four Nerds episode with Richard Citrone, Ray Porter, and Damon Caro up here later today for listening. And as well as last night's stream on Nerdy in Many Ways. So I'm going to try to be better at that because, it's something I should be better at. But anyway, yeah, thanks for having me, Ryan.
Oh, yeah, man. Hey, thanks everybody for being on here.
Thank you.
Mad Vids, where can everybody find you?
You can find me anywhere on social on Mad Vids, or you can find me on Thursday nights at midnight with the Nicotina Show, checking out the Mad. And that's about it. No,
and Four Nerds.
Oh yeah, there's Four Nerds.
7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes, every week 7:30 Eastern time, and we stream on Nerdy's channel, my channel, Anthony's channel, and I think that's it. You can also catch us on the Nicotina Show. So make sure you give a subscription to this guy here, he's jumped onto Twitch. And if you want to follow me on Twitch, follow me on Vero.
And be sure to check out our review on the Zeeverfett channel.
Yeah, that was a great one. I mean, yesterday. That was very fun. So thanks again to my guests. And let's see. Let me just say, one big thank you to my Patreons. You guys help me keep this thing going. I appreciate everything you guys do. Check out my Teespring and TeePublic store again for all the shirts. And also, I mean, because this was a stream about, let me see, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. A stream about lanterns. I also have, aside from this guy, I also have lantern-themed shirts. So go ahead and grab yourself a lantern-themed shirt for the holiday season or whatnot. If you want to buy one for yourself or for someone that you kind of like, then by all means, I appreciate it in every ways. Hey, so here we go.
So this is also a poster that is now on my Teespring, which is based off of the latest What If video that I posted. The Joke is Over is what the poster is called. Be sure to check it out.
Very great stuff right there. Check out Nerdy's What If video. He does his own dialogue and also check out the Ray Fisher shirt. I can't believe I almost forgot about this.
That's your claim to fame, man.
That's my claim to fame. If you have already purchased one of these shirts, please send me a picture of yourself in it so that I can add you to the collage that I am putting together. It is available on my Teespring store, and all proceeds go to afsp.org. So 100% of the profits go to charity. You can be one of the many awesome people that have picked up one of these shirts and are wearing it with pride. Nerdy here, he's wearing one. Anthony, who was on the show earlier, Zod, look at this guy right there. Ray Fisher is aware of these shirts. He's aware that these people have bought it, and he's given his endorsement. Let's see. I had one more. Where'd it go? I lost it. Oh well. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Couldn't find it. Okay, so thanks a lot. I appreciate everybody that has purchased one of these shirts. Again, all the proceeds go to afsp.org, and it is going to be something uplifting for Ray Fisher as he's going through these silly ass proceedings because of what happened on the set of Justice League. And with that, you guys have a great evening, and thanks again for coming by. And as soon as I find my outro, there it is.
Gosh, it's long-winded.
I'm so lost. There's too many images. Have a good night.